Brodes Media.
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Brodes. If you are an owner in town and you just so happened to go to YouTube and search Brodes Media and my face popped up on your screen, okay, and if you see me holding a printed out article with a blue highlighter just running through these thick pages, uh-oh! You're in trouble. It reminds me of when I was in elementary school and I would see the red pen and the red marks all over the test. F minus, D minus, you fucking failed. Whatever it said on there. It wasn't good with the red markings. Well, you're never in a good position if I'm starting to run through page after page after page with the highlighter. Scott Lauber of the Philadelphia Inquirer had a doozy dropped Monday morning. And most fans in this city, and even some publications, are running with the very positive quote. That he takes pride in being an owner and there's an obligation to have results and to have a winning culture with the team. The fan base deserves it, and that's phenomenal. I'm very proud that John Middleton is our owner and he has that mentality. But don't lose sight of what's really going on here, because he called out, in my opinion, Rob Thompson. He called out some of the players as well. And I'm actually stunned that this isn't top of the nation's big storylines. This should be breaking news where everyone in the planet, on planet Earth, gets a live look in. Did you see what the hell John Middleton said about his team? The fact we didn't get that is nuts. So we'll run through it. I do have a few thoughts before, though. And actually, why don't we begin here? Hello! If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button as well. You can take me on the road with you by searching Sports Talk with Brodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you leave a 5-star rating and a review, that will go such a long way with the algorithms. So thank you so much. And real quick, if you want 8 live streams a month right here on YouTube, you have the ability to have that. All you have to do is join the memberships down below for a price of $4.99 a month, and you get access to 8 Coffee with Brodes live streams 2 times a week and access to our Discord channel. We have such a fantastic membership crew, and you could be a part of it as well. Anyway, a few thoughts now that we are on a Monday night. There's no game. We're waiting for them to play the Braves. What happened with Rob was managerial malpractice. It's unacceptable. It really, 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 really is unacceptable. You can't have that happen. I don't want to hear for a second that the division lead is so wide, and because Austin Riley is now banged up and the Braves are dealing with injuries out the ass, that you have the luxury of punting games. No, you don't. No, you don't. I want to buy. I'm not trying to play in no wild card series, and shut your mouth now. Shut your damn mouth, because I know there's a good portion of you saying you don't want to buy. Dumb, stupid ass take. I'm not even going to mess with you for a second, because there's something loose upstairs. If I could get an automatic out and not have to pitch some of my starters, and I can eliminate a 3-game series where anything can happen, and we can advance past that for free, I'm doing it. Wins matter. Rob needed to put one of his top guys in that position instead of Cal Stevenson or Garrett Stubbs. There's only one way where I think this is okay. And that is if Bryce Harper told Rob, listen, even if it's close, I'm a no-go. Do I really feel the competitive nature of Bryce Harper is going to do that? Probably not. I'd have to imagine this is the Phillies organization somewhat trying to keep him as fresh as possible. So I better see the results. Because now that it happened, I can't change the fact that it did. Unfortunately, I wish I could. So what am I going to do to hold them accountable? Bryce Harper and JT better have a 3-hit night each on Tuesday night. Isn't that fair? 3. If it's 2, okay, fine. I'll live with it. All jokes aside here, though, if you wanted to keep them fresh and you decided a loss against the Nationals was worth it, then I better see the payoff. So a lot of games coming up. You're on the road. You're facing a big rival. You're going to Kansas City right after that. Fine. And what we can't do is use Monday's off day as a reason why it made no sense, because that's the reason why they did it. They did it because Monday was an off day. So to get Bryce off his feet for 2 straight days, in the middle of the season by only missing 1 game, they're going to try and maximize that. Which, as long as I start seeing sensational baseball because of it, that's what will satisfy me. So very close eye. Not that there's many days where Bryce Harper in the lineup doesn't have a very close eye. But I don't want to hear it, that he didn't enter the ballpark with a mentality of playing, so why put him in there? Or he may get injured, or, this one's the funniest, that the game might go 14 innings, so then he may actually have to play on a day where he was supposed to be fully off. There's a dude on second base with no outs to start the inning. Someone's going to win, and someone's going to win probably early. Not only that, you used Strom, you used Hoffman. Guess what? If they did happen to tie it up and go to extra innings, you're going to some of the bums. You're going to some of the arms that probably could get tattooed pretty easily. You're going to either lose quickly or maybe you actually pounce and win a damn game. Here's the serious question for the Phillies front office, or for Dave, or for Rob, whoever made the decision. If they were 2-1 against the Nationals, with that final game being the swing game, either you split 2-2 or you win 3-1, would Bryce Harper not get that at-bat? Hell, he might even been in the lineup for the full game if that was the case. Aha. Which tells you Bryce didn't, quote, need the day off. They used where they were in the series against Washington to try and gain leverage here in the schedule. That's a calculated risk. And they're pissing away games right after, and this is what hurts me the most, right after they already just had a team meeting about it being time to kick it into gear. A couple days ago, there was a meeting behind the scenes about now having to be the full throttle go mode. And within a couple of nights' sleep, you decide a loss is okay? That's a loser attitude. And that bothers me. So I'm a Rob Thompson fan. I just think that this is a loser mentality. And I'd have to imagine that there is some version of analytics involved on trying to keep Bryce as healthy as possible. And is this just strictly Rob saying, no, I made the decision, he's not playing? I doubt that. But he's the face of it. So the only way it's acceptable to me is if Rob is just taking all of the bullets for Bryce publicly because he doesn't want to come out and say, yeah, Bryce told me he would like a day. Because maybe he's dealing with something. Maybe that back stiffness is acting up. Maybe he's feeling the grind of the season. And it's better for Rob to just look like a moron compared to the fan base actually understanding that Bryce is playing at 65% right now instead of 75, 80, 85. Because nobody's 100. And that would be super concerning if you had to choose which one would be hitting the fan base. They'll live with Rob just taking the shots because that's the job of a manager. That's the only way I could accept it. But I don't know if that's necessarily how it went down. Now, my guy, Tom Kelly, is getting absolutely crucified on Twitter currently because he brought up being upset with Bryce for not having that fire to tell Rob, it's time for me to get that at bat. Or to just walk up to the plate, and he's getting mocked because it's Twitter and that's just what happens. I'm not questioning his leadership maybe the same way Tom did, but I'm not going to act as if what he said was the biggest embarrassment ever. There is a part of me that wondered if Bryce did take that route. And did Rob say, no, dude, I told you, nothing, zip. Doesn't matter the score of the game. I'm not having you take hacks in the batting cage, in the clubhouse. No. Off is off. And then Bryce just takes a step back and goes, that's my manager. All right, I trust him. I want him to want that moment. Maybe Tom took it a step farther than I would have. But the thought in general, I am curious his mindset with it. Was he believing Rob may have winked in his direction? Was he waiting for Rob to give him that look? Like, all right, man, I know what I said, but I've changed my mind. That look? When Bryce is in the corner of the dugout, maybe throwing a couple sunflower seeds in his mouth, just keeping his side eye on Rob, knowing it may happen? Or did he truly know? I'm telling you, you're not going out there. That was Rob speaking to Bryce. I don't know. What are you going to do? Okay. I think this would be a good time to talk about this article from Scott Lauber. Here's a few quotes that I think are really important. This is John Middleton speaking. I can't recall a Phillies team that was as good as our team was through July 11th, struggling the way this team has struggled beginning July 12th. The first week was bad, but that happens. The second week was worse, but that happens. By the time it got to the third and fourth week, it was like, okay, stop. This is your owner now. Your owner is realizing that slumps occur, just like a lot of us alluded to throughout the bad times when it first started to kick off. Losing right before the All-Star break against Oakland, even a series against Cleveland. Sometimes things don't go your way, and you acknowledge that. But after a whole month, get your head out of your ass. And the owner was not happy. Here's Middleton's take on the Phillies' 8-18 spell. This is the most eye-opening part of it all. Quote, it's a significant issue. I don't think you can just sit there and say, oh, well, this has happened, and therefore we'll turn it around. I don't think you can be that passive, he continued. I think you have to be pushing people to rethink what they've been doing. That's coaches and that's players. Everybody has to step back and say, what are we doing wrong? Why is a team that was winning at a 700 win percent clip for 3.5 months now playing at a 325% clip for the last 5 weeks? What is Rob Thompson's motto? I'll tell you for free. This is the way I take charge. Craig, you're our guy. I will go to you. Jose Alvarado, we used you as a lefty leverage, sort of a Swiss Army knife type of guy. This is dating back to 2022 when they played the Astros. This is what I do. I don't care that Zach Wheeler is coasting and he's pitching a gem. It's time to look for your Don Alvarez, Jose Alvarado, and let it ride. It backfired. Rob is always sticking to his guns no matter what. And there is a part of me that appreciates that. Sometimes, though, I need urgency. I need you to think on your toes. You have to adjust on the fly. It's never just going to be perfect for you, and you just run the standard. Sometimes you might have to make an adjustment. You might have to get a little uncomfortable to get a result that you're looking for. And the fact that he uses the word passive, that's Rob. That is Rob. That's how I would define Rob. He is a passive manager. And when they're 8-18 through, what would that be, 26 games, not a big math guy, and your owner's throwing terms out like that, you have to rethink what you've been doing? Dude, it makes me wonder, was he being John Middleton, the guy to call the meeting? Maybe it wasn't Rob. Or Middleton got in the ear of Rob to take Trey Turner out of the lineup for a day when he wouldn't traditionally do it. It wasn't Rob who wanted to do it. Here's a reason why, though, I'm not necessarily sure if that's true. Now, this is me playing the other side to a degree. But there is a piece in here about John Middleton not being a part of meddling ownership. He doesn't like to meddle. He concedes that he gets overly emotional, so he resists meddling. So there's reasons why he hired Dave Dombrowski. There's reasons why he hired baseball people to make baseball decisions, because he's just like every single one of us, extremely passionate, and you have to be more measured. So I respect that, and he's open and honest about it. And goes, listen, this is why I try and stay away from the clubhouse. I try and stay away from the guys, because I get very involved. I get very up and down. I ride these waves with them. At the same time, reality is his voice has a significantly deeper impact than anything I say, anything you say, anyone from South Philly says. He's the damn owner. So you could try and stay away as much as humanly possible when you're going 8-18, when the team is too good to be performing that low, and you own the team. If I own the team and I see them playing that bad through 26, I'm talking to someone. Now, I'm not necessarily telling them exactly what to do, but I would need info. Why? Tell me the payoff. What's happening? I need to understand why you fail to care about Washington. And if so, fine. But when will it pay off? This road trip? Okay. Then I better see it. I just want some answers on the breakdown why. And here's another part that might be a shot at Dave Dombrowski. This is the final piece to the puzzle. You never know, John Middleton says. This is in regards to winning a World Series. So you have to strike while the iron is hot. And it's hot right now. The players and the coaching staff have to understand that. They have to go after it hard. That's why it's time to shake off the cobwebs and start playing like it's May or June. Now, he brought up players and coaching staff, so maybe that's not really focused on Dave. But the reason why I bring it up is the iron is hot. It's hot right now. You have to go after it. Could this potentially be about the deadline? Because nothing Dave Dombrowski did at the deadline screamed to me, the iron's hot, we are going after it. It said, okay, you got marginally better around the edges. Those are two totally different extremes, man. That is complete opposites from one another. So this was a little crazy to me. The owner is not happy with the 8-18 stretch. Now, they won 4 in a row. They went 4-2 in this homestand against Miami and Washington, and I'm not necessarily sure when these quotes came out, or no, I know when they came out. I don't know when they were actually gathered. My guess is with John Middleton around throughout Alumni Weekend, and since Todd Zalecki and Matt Gelb and Scott Lauber all had their own versions of a John Middleton story, it was sometime around this weekend, I'd imagine. It's not 3 months ago. It's not 2 months ago. It's not a month ago. It's over the last 5 days. I'm speculating, but it's a pretty reasonable speculation. So did John Middleton meddle because he couldn't stand for that crap anymore? I don't believe this was said after not pinch hitting Bryce. So I'd have to imagine that watching him not pinch hit Bryce after already feeling this way would sting even more. Because that defines a lot of the problems that the owner has with the way this team is playing currently. Rob Thompson, to me, ruined what was a solid homestand. Not a great homestand, but it was solid. And you might have some breathing room because there are so many injuries happening with Atlanta. You may have escaped. You might not get every year to escape, though. So you have to make the most of it. And I was finally starting to move in the right direction. I truly was. And then this hurt. I took maybe 7-8 steps back from a morale level. Okay. So I thought this was very interesting. On MLB Network, Joe Madden was on. And Joe Madden listened to Rob Thompson's post-game press conference and then shared his thoughts on how he would attack this situation. It's very interesting. It's very good stuff. It's about 1.5 minutes, so bear with me. A little longer than I like to go, but it is a fascinating listen. Here it is.
I want to give both him and JT a full day.
In the moment, is that hard for you to not want to put one of your best hitters up there?
Absolutely, but I'm thinking long-term as well.
Okay, Joe, what do you think of that? You tell the guy he's got a day off, but the game brings you to the ninth. You still have a chance. What's your take on this?
I would always preface that when I talk to them, listen, I want to give you a full day off. However, if at the end of the game, it can be the difference between winning and losing, I really might want to consider you at that point. Furthermore, I want to believe that the player himself comes up to me and says, listen, I'm okay. I'm ready to go. They're watching. They know what's going on.
Oh! I'm telling you, it's one of the best managers to be involved in the game. And I know Bryce has that attitude. He has that edge. But I love to be a fly on the wall in that dugout when the ninth was happening. When Edmundo Sosa got on. I need to know how it played out. I have to know. I'm going to be thinking about every hypothetical ever. Probably for the next 3 days. Sometimes I get one thing stuck on my mind and I'm screwed. For example, the last 72 hours, I've been honestly preparing myself for a pumpkin cream cold brew from Starbucks. And I'm going to inject one into my damn nostrils for 7 days straight when that shit comes out. So I know how to get attached to a thought, okay? I need to know what Bryce was thinking. Did he talk to Rob? Did he not? Did he start to put his batting gloves on? Did he not? But how about that from Joe Madden? All right, he'll continue here.
I like that concept too. Nobody talks about that, where the hitter himself, whoever the position player is, he'll come up, or hitting coach or someone of the bench coach, whatever, and remind, listen, I'm ready. I'm downstairs taking some swings. So that's part of this also. I understand wanting to give a guy a full day off. That does matter because if you don't have to turn your mind or body on, it is a full day off, and you're going to benefit possibly from it. However, momentum gained or lost through a win or loss sometimes could be 2 or 3 games, 4 days, one way or the other, winning or losing. So,
trying to break it up a little bit so it's not as long, and I got so many damn thoughts on it. But how about that? You never know What did I mention post-game? Could you imagine if Bryce Harper stepped up to the plate, even if it was a single, and it's first and second with no outs, and you decide to do some smart things with Stubbs, and now you pull a win out of nowhere out. You sweep the Nationals all 4 games. Your win streak is now 5 games, and you see what can happen. You never know what can help pursue a win streak or really be a bad stretch. Something where you get boned and you lose a tough one, and then there's 3 that happen in a row. So you got to realize that. You're a team that just stressed the importance of turning up the dial. You just said it! You literally just said it! How do you change so quickly? That's nuts! No matter if it's the Nationals, the Marlins, the opponent isn't the big deal here. It's your own momentum, your own confidence, the swag that we need. Hashtag swag is back. Took 7 steps backwards. Don't know. Now I don't know. It might be back. Hashtag swag might be back. Doesn't hit the same, does it, fellas? Starting to get pissed off, Topper. Here's more from Joe.
I'm looking for the player himself maybe to nudge somebody and say, listen, I'm ready to go. And I always preface it before the game. Day off. However, if we get to the point winning or losing, I might want you there.
But, Joe, let's flip that. Say you tell the player, today's your day off, and I'm not using you no matter what. Do you have to abide by that?
Yes. Yes, that's how you always have to watch what you're going to say. If you've said that before the game, I've given you the full day off, come hell or high water, whatever you want to phrase it, then he's off. If somebody gets injured, maybe there might be something, there's not enough players, that's a different story. But if you tell the guy he's off, and I agree with that.
Now, I don't know if that's even in the button-pushing department for Joe Madden. Because the way he said it is, I always preface it by, yo, you got the day off, but if I need you, be available. That might be his card. That might be his idea of an off day. I don't know if Joe lives in a world, that's the sense I got, where a full no is ever even in play. And it shouldn't be, because one at-bat is not going to tear you down. But one win with the swing of the bat could be the difference in a win streak continuing. I was stunned and in disbelief with the amount of Phillies fans that took the side of Topper. I don't know if they took that side just because they really do enjoy Topper so much and he can do no wrong, or they put so much stock in the drainage that would happen if Bryce had to consider going up to bat in the 7th, 8th, 9th, just starting to prepare his body, I'm saying. That's going to be so draining on his body that it's so foolish to ask him to do it. How soft did we get? My God. All right, let's run through a couple anytime hotline calls here.
Hey, bro, CJ calling from Delaware. Listen, I'm not good with Rob Thompson giving that game away. I don't understand it. Look at the bench they had available. That's the best set you could have in Major League Baseball. You got JT, you got Harper, you got Weston Wilson, and you run the 3 worst hitters on our 40-man roster out there to try to win us a ball game. That means he didn't care about winning. He cared about rest. Unless those guys were physically unable to play, it's disgusting. And that can't happen. Rob Thompson got to be held accountable for that. Thanks, bro.
Agreed. I agree. And if the owner saying some of his remarks isn't Rob catching some heat, then I don't know what is. And the players did too, because the players need to be better. But a lot of those words really defined who Rob Thompson is, and the owner deemed that as unacceptable. So it'll be fascinating moving forward here. But I agree with you with pretty much everything you said. It's not as if we're angry that Bryce wasn't in the lineup. We get him not being in the lineup. We're just asking for a damn at-bat. And I could even buy you having a different approach with JT due to the injury and the issue he had with his knee. But still, with the game on line, just one bat. Just one bat. You know, my mentions were getting blown up. And something that came my way last night was along the lines of, what if he grounded out and got hurt because he pulled a muscle? So that could happen anytime he plays baseball. When he gets 4 at-bats a day, when he's playing first base for 9 innings, he could pull something, run into first base. What am I supposed to do with that? If he was pinch hitting and something bad happened to him, nobody's at fault. As long as Bryce stretched and prepared the way he would in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, knowing that there's a chance he might be used. If you go through the proper protocols, pinch hitters are used all the time in baseball. And we never think about their one at-bat. If Edmundo Sosa has to pinch hit in a game, no one's worried about Edmundo Sosa getting hurt with that pinch hit. Why? Because you believe that he did everything in his power with some band stretching and just from a mental aspect of knowing this might be a time I might get you. Just go through those channels and then go take the at-bat. If you do all of that and something goes wrong, that's just the game. He's got a worse shot of something going wrong every other time he plays. So with that mentality, you need to be afraid of Bryce Harper's health every time he runs, ever! Even if he's just running with the kids in the backyard. I think that's a crazy take. I really do. I see them in my mentions. It's disturbing. Let's go to Sean.
Rob Thompson needs his head examined, Hunter. That's what this game boils down to. That and the fact that Washington's bullpen outperformed ours. But your manager gives you no chance of winning the game with what he fielded as the 1 through 9 lineup today. Cal Stevenson, Garrett Stubbs. I mean, this BS about giving guys days off is starting to get on my nerves. They're off again tomorrow. I mean, Bryce Harper does not need a friggin' day off. You can't tell me that Bryce Harper can't give you an at-bat in the 9th inning with a chance to tie the game on one swing. You can't tell me JT Realmuto can't give you one at-bat with a chance to tie the game on one swing, or at least give Schwarber a chance if he reaches. I mean, you'd rather put Cal Stevenson and Garrett Stubbs up there. You'd rather subject the fans that paid the money and the viewing audience the opportunity to watch that garbage at the plate. This is on Rob Thompson. This is another Rob Thompson special that he delivered today. Stop treating these guys like babies that are walking around in diapers and start treating them like grown men and start treating the fans with a little bit of respect.
I agree, Sean. I'm with you, man. One of the best takes that I've heard throughout the day is Nick Castellanos plays every day. Every single day. And Bryce can't get that at bat. Once again, if Bryce truly needed it, and this was all Bryce, then he knows his body, and that's what he's feeling he has to do. Something tells me that's not the case, though. Unless he's really banged up. And maybe he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. But the fact that Nick gets trotted out there every single day and Bryce can't get one at-bat with the game on the line, that's wild. That's wild. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. I'm losing my mind. Appreciate it. Love you guys to death. Thank you all so much, and I will catch you all on the next one.